right. So I'm just going to give it a second to let people tune on live. If you are joining live, go ahead and let me know how you are, where you're tuning in in the world. I'm just doing the cards for the collective. Hey, Heather, how are you, beautiful? So good to see you. Thanks for being here. I know how your weather is because we share weather. So, but anyway, welcome to March's light launch. I think people are going to be coming on, joining live over the next couple of minutes. I know I was too excited. I just hit go live early. So tonight, what I have planned for us is we're going to really launch into the next month. I don't know how your February was, but my February felt like the longest month of my lifetime. I actually thought January 2021 was really long, but I was wrong. It was February that felt like it was never ending. So here we are on the final day of February. Not a bad thing, not a bad long month, just a long month. So I'm looking forward to going into March, getting an idea tonight of the energy that we're all going to be feeling. If you haven't already, check out this week's Lightworker Collective. It's been posted over on Karen Monaco, my professional page. Really amazing energy that we're seeing coming in. We have a heart clearing coming through over the next, I think it was 10 to 15 or 16 days. So just be present in the heart space. Know that it might feel slightly uncomfortable. Hey, Kelsey, how are you, beautiful? So over the next couple of days, you might be feeling things a little bit more in the heart space, and just know that discomfort, and I always say this, like the part of me that just wants everybody to stay safe and healthy, as long as it's not, it doesn't last longer than, we'll say 12 hours at a time, then it's that density or that denser vibration. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to say, if it feels like it's not energy, please get yourself to the doctor. I don't think that anybody here would be like, oh no, it's just denser vibrations, but I just kind of felt called to say that. Okay, so anyway, what we have here tonight, I'm going to look at the collective energies, what we're all working with and working towards over the month of March. I'm going to share the theme that, hey, Crystal, I'm going to share the theme that I am going to be really focusing on in regards to everything that I'm putting out into the world. It's a healing theme. We're getting very focused on healing in March, which I loved. And then I'm going to do a little pick a card. Hey, Stacy. I'm going to do a little pick a card, only 2 piles. They were very clear. There's only too many collectives within the bigger collective tonight. And typically I pick up on 3. And then we're going to round it all and close it all out with a nice integrating meditation where we connect with one another energetically, power up the light, launch into next month. Okay, so I hope you're excited. I am just so pumped for this. This is the 2nd month I'm doing it. I just kind of felt like, when you have like a traditional job, there's typically staff meetings, or I guess there's now Zoom calls. And light workers, a lot of us, depending on how you're serving and how you're supporting, we don't necessarily have a time where we're coming together and getting ready and geared up for the month ahead. So this is just something that I loved last month, which came to me while I was walking, and I knew I wanted to do it again this month. Okay, so if you're enjoying this event, hey, I almost said, hey, Gigi. Hey, Gina, how are you? If you are loving this, give it a like. Drop a comment. I know you guys already are, but it helps get my work out there, and it helps just in general us all come together. Okay, so I have 3 cards, and I'm just taking a look at them for the collective energy, and I love it because it's not so much about serving in a big way. It's more like serving in a more intimate way, and especially within our social circles. So the first card that came through, and I hope that the glare isn't too bad. I just recently started working with a ring light, and I'm figuring that out. But the first card that we have, the first energy, is the dragon energy, and I've definitely been feeling the dragons lately, and the way that they come in and just kind of blow things out of the way for us, the way they clear things so naturally and with such ease and with such grace. But the dragon energy is really about having courage. And what I'm picking up for the greater collective is we're going to have the courage to share the message a little bit more. Now, obviously, that's going to be different for absolutely every single person because we all have a different message that we offer in to support unity consciousness, light consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever way you want to label it or identify it. Okay, so really drop in the heart and maybe consider what message is it. And this is an echo, to be completely honest, of this first week of this week's the weekly collective, which is what is your message that you feel called to share, and how can you start to put it out into the world in a way that's very authentic. And the dragon is really just echoing that this is going to be something that we're working with and through all month long. Personally, I know that I'm doing a lot of inner work around my message and what it is that I'm feeling most how do I want to phrase it? What I'm most passionate about sharing. And it's not just about passion. And this was, again, an echo of the collective. It's really considering the journey that you yourself have been on, the things that you've grown through, and then how it is you feel called to help others through that transformation. One of the things that I loved with the horoscope readings is that I think it was Capricorn. They had a very specific message. So if you are a Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, the message for them, I think it was Capricorn, is that sometimes service is more on the intimate level where you're going to coffee with a friend and you're saying, oh, I know exactly what you've been through and I've got your back. I can help you. I can guide you through this. Okay, so just remember that service doesn't have to be big, flashy, grandiose, and public. It can take place within the family, within your either soul family, so your greater family, or your biological family. It can take place, obviously, in a public setting. It might be something that you do just by showing up and going about your daily life and being a beacon of love and light. Like Sebastian, he's like, I just need to show up, and I'm sharing the love and light because you're going to watch me shake. Yes. And people are going to ooh and ah, and it's going to make them feel good in their hearts. Okay. So share that message, baby. Okay. I think he knows I have some snacks on my desk. Anyway, so yes, the dragon, and I'm going to post a picture of this within the Lightworkers Co-op. So if you aren't a member there, go ahead, check the video description. You can join us in there where we talk love and light all the time. Okay, just checking in with this card. Yeah, so have the courage to put yourself out there. And for some of you, have the courage to take a look at the bigger message that you're currently putting out there and see how you can maybe scale it down to get a little bit more specific, a little bit more personalized over the next couple of weeks. Not necessarily saying that you need to stay with this super specific message for, the rest of your life or the rest of your journey, but it's like a narrowing, and they're showing me like a funnel, like a narrowing of your message so that you can really call in and attract those who need you the most right now. Hey, Michelle, so good to see you. Feeling those dragons, yes, and the water dragon, beautiful. And so interesting because this dragon is on the water, so beautiful. Okay, second energy, and I don't think any of us are going to be surprised about it because we're here in Pisces season. Pisces is the dreamer, the romantic, the poet. We have the dreams card, so pay attention to your dreams. And I'm picking up right now that this isn't just relevant to the dreams that happen in our sleeping state, but pay attention to the daydreams, pay attention to the bigger vision that you have for your life right now. Because again, I'm kind of picking up that the overall vision for March is a funnel system. Now, if you're in content creation, maybe it is, but it's not the traditional funnel that we talk about in business. It's really about getting specific, getting focused, getting that clarity, and knowing no matter how much clarity you have, there's always an opportunity to take it just a little deeper, just a little bit more specific. And don't be afraid of that specificity. I had to slow that one down because it doesn't cancel anybody out. it actually calls in those who need you even more. Okay. Pay attention to those dreams. Pay attention to those times where you actually notice that maybe you're daydreaming and going in the direction of something that you don't want to attract, and be very present with it in that moment and learn to pivot and move in the direction of what you do want to cultivate and call in. And that's not just as it pertains to mission. I'm looking at this card and it's all areas of life. We have the Lovers up in this corner. Nope, just kidding. They're up in this corner. We have the Butterfly, which is just your general transformation. Okay, so make sure you stay centered on what you want and continue to get really specific with it, which is so interesting because typically we get these messages about opening up to receive and not having it be so specific, leaving wiggle room for the divine to entertain us and romance us. But the clearer you are, the more source is going to be able to deliver what it is that you want. Okay, so that was the second collective energy. This third one, everybody knows that I'm going to be really excited, or once you hear it, you're going to know why I'm really excited, but it's friendship. It's all about connection, building bonds, collaboration. And this is really about coming into the word, it's interesting, it's coming into network authentically, to not be about, if you're in business, to not be about getting the sale, but to be about really connecting with people and building your own support system, building your own, interesting, because I was going to say coworkers, but collaborators, people that you're going to be in constant communication with, people that, they might not be your target market, but they have connections, or they have a market that's very, very similar. And so you work together, or so they're saying like I love that. Thank you. You play off of one another. I was going to say feed off of one another, but that just feels energetically taxing and not altogether hot and fun and sexy. So it is like you play off of one another. So maybe make a short list of 1 or 2 or 3 individuals that you want to reach out to and connect with and get into conversation with, because we're not seeing like network in a traditional way. This is friendship. This is cultivating, cultivating and enhancing the community that you already have, and nurture your relationships. Okay. So like I said, reach out, get into just genuine conversation. It doesn't always have to be about light working. It could sometimes be about the books you're reading, or what you're doing over the weekend. But some of you, I'm picking up, are living a intimacy is such a beautiful word, Michelle. A lot of you are, because of the nature of the work you're doing and because it's all virtual, you're getting and it's not even just traditional work, but you're getting very isolated. It's not always there's social media where we're putting out a post and we're having interaction. And then there's interaction like face to face, where, current planet or current circumstances on the planet don't necessarily afford us the opportunity to go out and get a legitimate coffee. Maybe they do if you're comfortable doing that. But it's how can you take those relationships to the next level, where you're getting to know somebody in a more personal way. Okay. And again, that goes for, even if you're not just doing business, like I'm thinking for me, I do so much for my business that sometimes my friendships almost like take the back seat. And in this message, I'm interpreting it as it's time to not allow for that to happen so much, right? It's got to be more than Sebastian and I, right? He's not the only one who wants to hear from me. And all of you apparently, look at that face. He is so delicious. So Kelsey's saying, just had the thought this morning to get back to my desire board. I love it. Yes, return to it. And one of the things when we return to those vision boards or just those big dreams, one of the things that we start to see happen is a lot of those things have already manifested. Keep them on the board and be reverent and grateful for those things, because that reverence and that gratitude starts to expand your vibration and starts to attract all of the things that haven't yet come to be. All right. So definitely stay with that. Heather's saying she just did a vision board yesterday. That is actually on my March list, is to do a vision board. I haven't done one in so long. So sounds like we're all that psychic highway. We're all plugged in. People to refer others to you. Yeah. Word of mouth is so important. And the one thing that I've been really trying to be intentional with is to try and share the light of others, not just as part of my business. I do the spotlight in Lightworkers Co-op, but even in my personal life, I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful of when I'm talking to somebody. If I know another person that can support them, making that referral. Okay. All right. Right. Yes. 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 I might have to step away and get him under his Snuggie. So, all right. So let me know. I'm feeling these collective messages. They're feeling really good. I love that we're being directed back, or we're being directed in a little bit of a different direction, because so many of us are very focused on the bigger picture. And it's like get really specific, whittle it down, get that clarity. Hey, Kat, how are you? So good to see you. All right, so what is next? Let's go ahead and hop into the pick a card. Okay, so we'll do the pick a card, we'll do the embodying meditation, and then I'll do the announcements. So 2 piles for tonight's pick a card. So just quick drop into your heart and start to envision right and left, or maybe even start to tune into the hands right and left. And as you do that, I'm going to put him and his Snuggie. Oh, good. Thank you. And just notice if you are being drawn, to your right or left. Maybe there's a different sensation in your right versus your left hand, or perhaps the right hand. But just tune in to which side you're being drawn to right now. Okay. And then I'm going to start with the left pile. So 4 cards in each pile. I'm going to give you a guide for the month. I'm going to talk about your healing, what you want to take a look at in regards to your personal healing, how to strengthen your spiritual gifts, and how you are being called to show up and serve a little bit more. Okay. So for those of you who picked the pile over to the left, your guide for the month, she is so present right now within the collective, is the Morrigan. She is absolutely one of my favorite goddesses, but she's all about transformation. So her card says death and magic. Remembering that for everything that we let go of, for every cycle that ends, there is that beginning. And the beginning, once we step into it, once we allow for it, typically just feels very refreshing, feels very energizing. So for those of you who were drawn to the pile, the left, honor, respect, maybe do a little ritual around something that might be ending in your life. Now, this could just be a mindset. It could be a pattern of behavior. It doesn't have to be like anything big. It might be, you'll know best, but go ahead and just find a way to really, again, honor what it is that's being asked to be laid to rest. And from that, just know that there's a regeneration, a resurrection that's going to happen. All right. So for those of you drawn to the left pile, the healing work that you are going to be doing in March, we have the Hermit card. And I will post pictures of this within the group as well. So with the Hermit card, you just want to check in with your energy because, and again, this is very relevant to that isolation that we were just talking about. And some of this isolation goes so much deeper than just COVID. But tune in and make sure that you are isolating yourself to do that inner work, and not isolating yourself out of fear or out of shame of what I'm hearing, your spiritual journey or your spiritual process. So whatever it is that's ending, I do feel like it's rocked your confidence a little bit. And Spirit is just saying this is a natural part of the process. And I just talked about this in the membership this morning, that letting go is such a natural part of the process of receiving abundance. But tuning into what it is what is really behind the isolation, the seclusion that you're kind of immersed in right now. This is something that you've been doing and working through over the past couple of months. So it's not just like last week you entered seclusion. This has been happening for a while, which is why Spirit is saying it's really time to just take a look and ensure that it's for the inner work, as opposed to what they're saying, whatever else that, or whatever personally is going on, whatever you feel the need to hide from or you're attempting to escape. Okay. Just listening. Yeah. Okay. So that is what they have for you. Now, the next one is, how can you really enhance and expand your spiritual gifts? I know that this is always a fun one. You guys, wow. So yours is, oh, this is such a light card. I hope it shows up, is awakening. So part of the reason, no doubt, for this seclusion and this isolation is because you are at a point in your spiritual awakening and there's a little bit of protection going on. You don't necessarily want everybody to know all that you are going through, but your energy or your frequency is starting to shift just naturally. So Spirit is saying, allow for that to happen. When you come through, what they're showing me is when you come through this tunnel and into the light, or into your light specifically, things are going to happen very naturally. So you might, I don't pick up that you guys are forcing anything right now. I feel that there's a little bit of frustration. So just hold tight a little bit longer. I think March is going to be really transformational. You're going to understand why it felt like you were being held back. You're going to get some clarity in this isolation. And for some of you, that clarity is going to be like, oh, I didn't need to be isolating myself, or I was isolating myself out of fear of sharing, or people knowing I'm going through a divorce, or I lost my job, whatever it is. You're isolating to protect yourself, to not be vulnerable. And Spirit I'm sorry about him. Spirit just wants you to check in with that. Okay. Now, stepping stronger and forward into service. Okay. Wow. So you guys probably, if you were drawn to this pile, you probably really resonated with today's weekly collective, because the mission is the serpent, and the serpent is all about taking that knowledge, applying it to your life, and then knowing that knowledge, once you've applied it and you've seen the powerful impact of it, it's embodied and it becomes wisdom. And that wisdom is what you were here to share. I actually kind of feel like you guys probably didn't need a reading, because you were like, oh, this collective, yeah, that's for me. All right. So definitely check out that collective reading for even more insight. You all are on a beautiful path. Again, it's like, hold tight, hold on just a little bit longer to the frustration. And your light is at the end of the tunnel. You are journeying through your own darkness for a reason. And for some of you, it might be like, well, I don't really feel like I'm in that much darkness. And that's good. Just trust that this is still your reading. The darkness, it's going to be, what they're saying is like, there's different shades of darkness. Okay. So that's what I have for you. Pile left. All right, pile right. If you chose pile right, let me know. Pile is so spot on. Awesome. So happy to hear that. So pile to the right. Let's go. Nice. Oh, she was in somebody's reading and I don't remember who. So interesting. I'm just taking a look. Okay, so the number 23 is going to be big in the collective over the month. Let's see what happens March 23rd, only because we'll be a couple of days into Aries season. A couple of days into Aries season, and Ostara will have just happened, or maybe just happened, but the serpent is card number 23. That glare is horrific. Oh my God, and it's 6:23 right now here, and Stacy's saying it's 5:23 there. Amazing. Anyway, so the guide for those of you who were drawn to the right pile is Ishtar communion. Now, she is also closely linked to Inanna. So if you feel drawn to explore Inanna, she is very closely related. Some people actually think that they are one and the same. But Ishtar is all about communion, which what an echo to that collective about coming into community, building friendship. When we have Ishtar approach us, it's really about getting into that collaboration with the divine. So if for you guys, I actually feel like March is going to be a relatively social and I'm hearing the word developing month. So maybe you're at the beginning of a journey here in March, or you're really going to start to put yourself out there into the world in a new way or in a different way. Your guides are going and wanting to work with you, to collaborate with you on this leg of your journey. Okay, so just know when Ishtar approaches, talk to your guides and really ask them for what you need. One of the things that you can ask them, and people don't recognize this or realize this, and they definitely don't ask for it enough, is if your journey feels like it's like a train that you cannot, like a runaway train, you can ask them to slow it down, to help you take a break for a little bit. You don't have to go at their pace. You have opportunities to slow down your course if you choose to, or if you desire to. Okay, so that's a big message coming in for you right now. Now, what you're healing is the artist. So for you guys with this card, and again, I'm hearing a little bit of, so interesting because we had this in the other pile too, but you guys sometimes escape into your work. You don't necessarily want to take a look at this is channeled. You don't always want to be taking a look at what it is that you're going through, because it's easier to look elsewhere sometimes. And it is. And sometimes we need to do that, especially when your journey is like full speed. But just tune in, make sure that you are not escaping into your mission or into your work. All right. I feel so seen. Same. Just went through this in February. So I feel you. They really want you to consider a couple of things. How can you work smarter, not harder? And then and really take a look at what is it that you are trying to avoid or escape. And that's going to be very telling for you. That is the area of life I'm picking up that you're going to want to say, hey, can we slow it down in the romance department? Or, hey, like, things are really rapid fire happening at work. Can we do something about that? And once you do that, once that area of life slows down a little bit, then you won't be as inclined to try and get away from it, try and run away from it. All right. Hey, Shannon, so good to see you. So good to see you. All right. So you guys, how are you going to work on your spiritual gifts? It's so interesting because the piles to me energetically feel very similar. Their messages, again, it's like that slight shading. Which is common because we're all in this together. So for your spiritual gifts, it's the Pleiadians or Pleiades, which is a double mission. So I will tell you that one of the things that you're escaping, or some of the things that you're escaping, you really don't want to avoid them for too much longer, because they're actually dimming your light. Once you look at them, one of the things you're doing is you're avoiding things and because you're avoiding them, they're getting bigger. They're getting bigger actually, but they're also getting bigger in your mind. If you just take a look at them, it's going to be a quick fix. It's going to be an easy fix. And for some of you, you're being told it's not that you have to do it alone. You just need to ask for the right support. Okay, so this avoidance is this is something that you've actually done for lifetime upon lifetime upon lifetime. If you feel seen, trust me, like this is something I've been called out on. So don't worry about it. Just ask for the help that you need. And this is from both 3D and your family of light and on the other side. Okay. But this avoiding is something that you're actually here to help others not avoid their shit. Okay. So I hate to do this again. I'm going to see if he will simmer his little fur butt down. 1 second. All right. So anyway, all right. So that was your spiritual gifts. How can you step up and serve? Wow. So we have the cow energy, which is all about nurturing yourself. So some of what you're avoiding is actually figuring out what it is you need, how you need to show up for you. And some of you, they're saying, and this isn't directed at anybody specific, but some of you are like talking about self-care, self-love, nourishment, healing, growth, but you're also avoiding it within your own life, and you're avoiding the peace. And these are simple fixes, okay? So once you take a look at them, you're going to be like, damn, why was I avoiding that? That's no big deal. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be easier. It's been allowed to get easier. It's been allowed to get bigger than it needs to be in your mind. Okay? So those are the 2 piles. Yeah. Talking about being seen. Yeah. Sometimes those messages, it's like, yeah, we need to be kind of called out on it. Sometimes we need to feel seen and exposed, because then we're like, okay, I can't avoid this anymore. This is clearly for me. All right. And we're all, again, I can't affirm it enough and reiterate it enough. We're all here together, and we're all working through this process together. You know, there's no message that I give that I don't need to receive myself or haven't already received at some point. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do the integration meditation. This is just going to be an opportunity to connect with those of us who are sitting here together this evening, as well as those who might catch the replay, and let's just send out the love and light and connect, call in everybody that we need to call in so that we can really get to New Earth. All right. So if you have anything on your lap, like a journal or whatnot, just put it over to the side, put your phone over to the side. And just some deep inhales and exhales. They shared within the membership this morning that one of the things on my March goals is to breathe. So talk about a basic lesson, but really embodying it. So just to breathe, big inhale through the nose and let it go. And go ahead and start to drop into the heart space. And just notice how the heart is feeling. And don't judge it as good or bad. Just let it be. Let it experience whatever sensation it's experiencing. And then go ahead and start to tune into the energy of love that's within the heart. So if you weren't feeling that love, now be very conscious, call it up, call it forth. And just continue to breathe into that love, breathe into that healing light that's being generated from within you. And then slowly start to bring that love, that light, compassionate, empathetic energy, start to let it rise up the body. So inviting that love into the throat space, maybe swallowing it a few times, just to really let that love come into the throat, allowing it to weave into that communication center. And then continue to draw it up into your third eye. And what's so beautiful is when we start to allow love up into the third eye, we drop into that intuitive power to see things, the potential in things, the beauty, the positive. And then draw it up even further into the crown. And just breathing into that space. Now we allow that love to stay flowing through the upper chakras, and we draw our awareness back into the heart space. And now we start to invite that love, that compassion and empathy down the body. So allow it to come from the heart space, across the chest, down through the hands. And then it continues to drop down the body. So from the heart, it comes into our third chakra, which resides just in the space between the lowest ribs. And then we drop it down into second chakra, that space just underneath the navel, our emotional center. And continue to let it flow down, tapping into the base chakra, the root, security and foundation, building that with love for ourselves. And then let that energy drop down through the legs, through the ankles, through the feet, and send it down into the earth. And then just envision these beautiful roots coming out of your feet and sending that energy of love through the roots into the soil. And continue to breathe those roots into expansion, sending them deeper and sending them further to the right, to the left. And then maybe notice if your roots start to tune or tap and connect with the roots of another. And just allow them to come into communion, come into contact. Tia takoto okura baragata, kira kato okura bara andia takoto okura bara akata a. Hoya papia takanamana ukmani atakato okudia tia ta para akati anda akoto oya papia takoto oku papa akiata a. Miandia takata angia yo kerania takaya papa akuto okupa ya papia takutumba kirakatia takata akura ya takata akandia takata miantia takora barakata akira. And just continue to feel that love that comes from within you, that's being generated by the heart space, and sending it in all directions. Yoria takata akura parakata angira katia takata akura parakata angia takatia takatia taka ongira varia takata miantia takata akatandia takata akura baraa. Miantia takata akura barakatia takata akira parakatia takata akira barakandia takata miantia ta aya mamia takata akira kata akundia papa. taking 2 or 3 more rounds of breath here. When you feel ready, you can come back. Let me know what it felt like to be that source of love. All right. So I didn't intend to go for the 40 minutes. I was actually thinking we would be ending at 40 minutes. So just real quick announcements. You feel free to leave your comments. Yes, I love the experience of feeling our roots connect with our brothers and sisters that are here for Earth's ascension, that are on there and conscious of their spiritual journey. It is so powerful to do that. And if you feel called, do that over the next couple of days and just kind of see who that brings into your life. So powerful. The best visualization. Awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. So just 2 announcements. The first one, so in March, what I am going to be releasing every single week is a video all about self-love. So I know so many of you, and I got it myself for so long, are being told, hey, you need to love yourself. Hey, you need to get into relationship with yourself and start to understand how to meet your needs. And March here for me and for everything that I'm pushing out into the world is all about self-love, how to stop asking the question, how do I love myself, and how to actually feel that self-love. So there's going to be a video released every single Sunday here. Some are teachings and tools, others are pick-a-cards, and they're all focused on building that connection with yourself so that we can start to really be we can offer ourselves the same love that we give so freely to others. And this meditation, you see that love can come from within. You have it there, and you can also replenish yourself with that love. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. Make sure you follow, subscribe, turn on the notifications, because you'll get the notice or the little ding every single Sunday. All right. This is also the last month to get soul support sessions at the current price, which is $99 for the hour and a 3-pack for $288. Starting starting the end of this month, the single session is going up to $111. And then the 3-pack is going up to $303. Okay. So you can also, if you want to get a single session for later on, I think the scheduler is for March and April. You can always reschedule it later on. If the date comes and it doesn't work, then you can always reschedule to a time that really works for you and suits your needs. And it could be something like, I don't need it. You might not need it until July or August. Okay. But like I said, this is the last month at the current price point. All right. So those were the 2 things that I had to share with you. Thank you so much for being here. So thank you so much for being here. And in the upper chakras, I loved the weaving the love upwards. Yes, and felt so powerful in myself. Yay, good. I'm so glad to hear that. So much love, power, and energy in that sacral chakra and emotional center. Yes, the womb space. So one of the things that's coming that I felt is that we're getting this heart clearing and activation and healing coming through over the next 10-ish plus days. And then I think that something's going to be coming for the 3rd chakra. For some of you, it might be happening simultaneously, where the heart clearing is really happening so that you can step into your power in that 3rd chakra. Okay. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you have a light worker, mystic, starseed, healer friend that might enjoy this, go ahead and send it to them. But yeah, I love you so much. Have a beautiful day, beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye.